So good morning to everybody. So this morning what we're going to be going through in our webinar is the new and exciting updates to BookME. So my name's Stephanie and I'll be taking you through today's webinar. So just a couple housekeeping before we move on with the webinar. So the duration of this webinar will be around 30 minutes. Obviously your speakers need to be turned on to be able to hear me, and my microphone is finally on, so everyone else has actually been muted. Any questions regarding today's webinar, we'll do a Q&A at the end of the webinar, and you're also welcome to email any questions through. So, what are we going to be going through today? So there's a range of updates to BookME that are designed to help you cut down on any no-shows, secure future revenue for the business, as well as just creating a more convenient booking experience for your clients. So by the end of today's webinar, we would have gone through the features which are allowing your clients to cancel and reschedule using BookME, the service booking order settings, the default appointment tag for BookME appointments, the new dual language booking page feature, adding BookME to Facebook, the new process of doing this, third-party bookings and how they display in the touch tab, as well as the upfront payments feature. So first of all, let's have a look at clients cancelling and rescheduling through BookME. So there are 3 settings in your BookME settings area of the Smart Console that control cancellations and rescheduling of BookME. So under the other BookME settings, you've got first of all whether you want to allow clients to actually cancel bookings. And then underneath here you'll see you've also got how many days prior to the date are they able to cancel an appointment. So maybe 1 or 2 days prior is fine, you may wish to do more. The other option you've got here is to allow clients to rebook past appointments and reschedule future appointments. If you tick that option, you'll see that your BookME screen will look something like this. So this option here is the first page of your BookME screen, and you'll see we've got this Manage Future Appointments or Select from Previous Appointments. So when the client clicks on this, it'll take them through and show any past as well as future appointments. For a future appointment, they can select it and then choose to change the booking. So change it to a new service or to a new date and time, or if they are within that period of time that you've selected, which is okay for cancellations, and they've given enough notice, they can select this cancel booking option. They'll get a message which is just confirming they want to cancel the appointment, and that will actually complete the cancellation. So one of our next updates, which I think is really important and really relevant to a lot of businesses, is the service booking order. So this area here in your Smart Console, which is again in the BookME settings screen, allows you to control what order the service is coming to your appointment book. So as you can imagine, this is extremely important for all different styles of businesses. So maybe if you are a hair salon, it's important that all colours are booked before cuts. You wouldn't want it to book in the other order because that could potentially not fit with the stylist that you've got in for the day. A scenario in beauty would be that you wouldn't want it to book in a tan before waxing services. So the way that you set up your preferred service booking order in the BookME settings area of your Smart Console, it will list all the service categories that you've currently got available. So what you'll need to do is just put the numerical order that these services would be booked in. Obviously the client's not booking every single service, but what it means if I was to select a colour and a cut, because a colour is number 1, it would be booked before a cut. So what does a client see? So if a client was to select it in the incorrect order, what will happen is it will actually reorder it, but they'll get this message here just to warn them that it has actually been reordered because your business prefers to do the services in that particular order, and it gives the message to contact if they're not happy with the reordering of the services. The next one is quite a new update that we've added in. So you can now actually choose a default tag for any BookMe bookings. So this is for when the booking comes through to your appointment book, you can now have a default tag that displays on the booking. So I've just used an example here of OLB for online booking. You can choose whichever tag you wish. The tags that display in the list are the tags you've already got set up in your shortcuts. So if you'd like there to be a new tag available, you'll first need to add it in shortcuts before it'll display in your Smart Console. Okay, another new update for you guys is the new dual language feature. Now this may not be relevant to a lot of areas, particularly in Australia, but it basically is now just giving the option to have two or more, I should say, supported languages on your BookMe. So I've just got some screenshots here to show you how you would set it up if this is relevant for your business. So this is in the company settings area of your Smart Console. Your supported language, if you're in Australia, will show as English Australia, and you can choose add language to add more language options. So this means that all the instructions and text that they see on that BookMe page would reflect the new language. So the language will default to whatever the client's browser language is when they're using BookMe, but they can actually click and toggle between different languages at the top of the BookMe page. Whatever language they're using for the BookMe page will also reflect on the confirmation email that they send through. All right, so here's a really exciting one that everyone might have been aware of. There's actually a new process to adding BookMe to your Facebook page. So previously we were adding BookMe as an app, which is still absolutely fine, and you can still leave the app there if you've already got that existing. However, what Facebook have now created is what's called a create call to action, which creates a really nice book option at the top of your Facebook page. That book option is also available if they were using the Facebook app on a mobile device, which is really exciting because that wasn't previously available. It's really easy to add. So all you need to do is go to your business Facebook page, make sure you are logged in as the administrator for the page, and you'll notice you've now got this create call to action button up the top. When you select on this, you'll see a screen like this below. You need to choose what sort of option it is that you're wanting to do. So we're not obviously doing a shop now, we'll be choosing the book now button. And then it's going to give you a preview of how this is actually going to display. It'll ask you to pop in the URL for the website that you're wanting that button to direct them to. So this is where you put in your BookMe link. So if you aren't currently aware of your BookMe link or you haven't been provided with this is something that you can contact the help desk for. If you've already got BookMe on your website, simply go to the BookMe page on your website. You can just copy the URL and pop it in here. You do want to pop it into both fields, both the website and the mobile website option, so that it is available if they're using the app. The next option you're going to get is that you want to make it both available for iOS devices as well as Android devices. So the first thing you need to do is select website for the iOS, and then you need to select website again for Android, and then hit next. So what you'll see is you've now got the Book Now button, which is ready to go. So you can definitely have your existing app, which you would have added, as well as the Book Now button on your Facebook page. They both work hand in hand. Does anyone have any questions? Would anyone like to put a question into the chat box about the updates that we've gone through so far? Wonderful, let's move on. Thanks, Tony. Tony said it looks great so far. Okay, so let's have a look at another great feature, which is the third-party booking and how it displays in the touch tip. So what we've now allowed is that you can now make a third-party booking. So a really obvious example of this would be a mum booking through her profile for her child. So when you've gotten to the confirm step of creating a booking, you'll now notice there's this plus sign next to where it would have who you're actually booking it for. You can then link a new client to your account, so the new client perhaps being the child, and you can actually choose the relationship here. So you could say that they are your child and then fill out the child's contact details. You'll then get the same confirmation screen and it'll show the new name of who you're booking on behalf of, and you can confirm it. So what actually happens, which is really nice, so the appointment will come into your appointment book exactly the same as just a regular BookMe booking. However, you'll notice we've got this yellow note on the appointment here. And if you were to select on the appointment to view the note or select and view through the touch tip, you'll see that down here it shows that it was booked via BookMe by the obviously main account, and it'll show that relationship. So it's showing the parent with the contact details. Now this particular feature is only available on Fusion, so if anyone hasn't upgraded, do make sure you're on the latest version of Shortcuts. Okay, so that's the majority of the features. Now this last one that we're going to be talking about here is possibly the most exciting new feature in this webinar, and this is the upfront payments feature. So this is something I know a lot of you have been waiting for a while, and it is finally here. So this is all about taking booking deposits, so taking an upfront payment for a booking that is made through BookMe or My Local Salon. So the idea with upfront payments is it's securing the booking with that upfront payment deposit. It's locking in the future revenue, and you can actually configure how the amount, the deposit required is worked out. So when I mean that, you might make quite a simple upfront payment rule. So you might just say that all bookings require a $10 deposit. So every single booking that's made through BookMe has a $10 deposit. You might want to take it a step further and look at a percentage. So say that you're taking a 20% deposit based on the full price of the service. You can then take it a step further and create several rules with different priorities. So you might say that by default you take a 20% deposit unless it's a service booked in with one of your seniors. In that case, it's a 50% deposit. Or if it's a service that's possibly a more expensive spa service, you would take 100% deposit. So the upfront payments feature is really customizable where you can suit it to your business. You can set up the rules surrounding employees, services, or just a flat percentage or dollar amount. So when the upfront payments is configured and set up, the only real difference to the booking process is that when you get to the confirmation screen, which I've got a picture of here, it'll show your deposit policy. You create your own deposit policy, so we'll give you one by default, but it's really important that if you're using upfront payments, you make it really clear to your clients what are your business processes and policies. And then down the bottom, you'll notice here that it shows the deposit required. It needs to be paid now, and there's this pay and confirm button. So when they choose pay and confirm, it's going to take them through to PayPal, which is the payment processor for upfront payments. The great thing about using PayPal is, of course, that it's very secure. A lot of your clients probably already have PayPal accounts, but even if they don't, you can use PayPal purely as the payment processor. So they can still just enter the credit card details directly into PayPal without having an account if they don't have one yet. Any questions so far before we move on to how upfront payments works when the bookings come through your appointment book? No, it looks like we're all good to go. Okay, so I've got a a few screenshots here of what it's going to look like with upfront payments coming through. So again, the bookings still come through yellow with that required review colour, but you'll notice there's this upfront payments icon on there to indicate there's an upfront payment. So one of the best things about upfront payments is when you check out the client, it does the hard work for you. So you'll see that in this screenshot of the point of sale here, it's already just taking off that $17.50 booking deposit that they've done. So it will just bring the price down to what's required. If a client was to no-show or cancel and they have prepaid a deposit, so use the upfront payments, you've got a few options, which is really nice. So depending on what you've written in your deposit policy, you may wish to charge a full or partial cancellation fee, which you can actually do through shortcuts. It'll contribute towards the transactions and showing the client's history that there was a cancellation fee. You can also put the upfront payment deposit onto the client's account. Again, it could be full or partial, and you might actually do a combination of the two. So in this scenario where the client paid $17.50, you may wish to charge a $10 cancellation fee and then put $7.50 onto the client's account for them to use next time. Okay, so it looks like we've got a question from Tony. So Tony's asked, would there be a charge for a third party? So Tony, do you mean if they were to book on behalf, like the third party bookings we were looking at, so if they were to book on behalf of their child? If that's what you mean, it still operates the same. So you can certainly use the parent's PayPal account. Once you choose that pay and confirm, you can choose whichever PayPal account you'd like to pay for it, and it will still take into consideration any rules that you've set up for upfront payment. So if it is being booked through a third party, it will still charge the 20% if that's what you've chosen. Oh, Tony's actually asking about PayPal charges. Sorry, Tony. So there is still obviously your merchant fees with PayPal. So if you wanted to find out any more information on merchant fees with upfront payments, I'll be bringing up the number for business development and they can send you through all the details. Sorry, Tony. All right, so that's basically it for the webinar. It was actually quite a quick one today. So we've gone through all of the settings. So for these settings to be available, you do need to be on the new version of Fusion. So if you're wanting to use the client cancellation and rescheduling, the service booking order, the default appointment tags, the dual language, and the third-party bookings. I'd certainly encourage everyone to add BookME to their Facebook page using that new call to action button. And then obviously upfront payments. So, Tony's just asked, when can you have upfront payments? Which leads us on to my next slide here. So the business development team here at Shortcuts have actually extended the offer that was available for July onto August. So basically the offer is waiving the setup fees, which is a saving of $195. So a free setup of upfront payments for the business. It's only for the first 50 people who sign up. So if you are interested, do phone through to that number down the bottom there and choose option 2. You can also email through to support if you'd like more information, particularly on upfront payments and if you'd like to take advantage of the July and August offer. Okay, so if you're wanting to register for our upcoming webinars, as you all know, they're listed on the shortcuts.com.au/webinars page. You can also watch any previous webinars through the webinar library. So let me just have a look at any other questions that we've got. So Debbie's asked for upfront payments. Do you have to use BookME? Can it be used directly through Fusion? Not at this stage, Debbie. Upfront payments in its first phase is only through BookME. However, it's certainly something that is being looked at if you could do upfront payments directly through your appointment book and point of sale. And for anyone else interested, that would be more for if you had like an over the phone booking. But at this stage, it is just through BookMe. Does anyone else have any other questions? Is everyone excited about the new features? Good to hear. So probably one of the first things would be I'd encourage you to go add your Facebook, BookMe to Facebook using that call to action. It's certainly really easy. And then this webinar will be posted in the library. So if you'd like to go back and go through all those other settings that we've looked at today, you can watch back the webinar. But that's basically everything for today if no one else has any other questions. Wonderful. It looks like we're all good to go. Thanks everyone for attending, and sorry about the audio mix-up at the beginning. If you've got any questions, don't forget to email through to support, and I hope to see you all next time at our next webinar.